What's good, Commanders fans? Just want to make a video and say congratulations to Sam Cosmi getting paid. Adam Peters and Dan Quinn get a deal done. This is good to see before his contract is up. You know, I know you guys hate when I mention the previous regimes of the Skins and Commanders, but this is something that they have forward thinking and getting a deal done before the contract is up. And then we get in limbo. We have to franchise tag him. So this is good to see. That Sam Cosmi gets rewarded for the play, even though he has not been coached or played a game under this regime yet. They saw what he's about. They got to build chemistry through training camp, mini camp, and this off season. They believe enough in Sam Cosmi that they were able to give, or that they decided to give him a 4-year, $74 million contract that includes over $45 million guaranteed. So that's awesome from Sam Cosmi, breaking the second round pick curse over the Washington franchise. It's good to see a guy like this get rewarded for sure. Definitely a leader of the team, a vocal leader. I remember Sam Cosmi hitting the gritty last year in that preseason game against the Ravens. That's probably going to be one of my favorite moments of Sam Cosmi's career for sure, even though it was a preseason game. But he did a really good job last year. He held up against Aaron Donald. He had a really good game against the Jets. I have a couple stats here that I wanted to talk about with Sam Cosmi where he really played well. PFF has him as the third best guard in the NFL last year. Had an 82.1 PFF grade last season, fourth among all guards as well. 1 sack allowed all season and an 80.9 run blocking grade as well. And then through October last year, had the most pass blocking snaps in the NFL without allowing a sack last season in 234 snaps. He earned a 91.6 PFF grade over 5 weeks as well. So Sam Cosmi, man, I mean, he's a legitimate right guard. He was the highest graded offensive player in the NFL since week 13 last year, allowing 0 sacks and just 1 pressure. So through all the metrics, he had a really good season that I love to see. And then against the Giants, he had 55 pass block snaps, had 0 pressures in that game, 0 sacks allowed, and 0 hurries in that game on November 20th against the Giants. So Sam Cosmi, man, he had a couple perfect games last year where he gave up 0 sacks and 0 pressures in many snaps. That's awesome to see. And he was drafted as a tackle coming out of Texas in the second round. Then he transitioned to the guard position. I can't say guard like Jay Gruden, but to the guard position. We all know how it was said, but he has really blossomed into a good player. 9 starts his rookie year. Played in 9 games, 14 games in 2022. He did have that wrist and hand injury. I remember he played through it where he had the club on his hand. 6 starts. And then 2023, he played in all 17 games. All 17 games and started all 17 games as well. If you look at the contract, it's a darn good deal. About $18.5 million per year. If you look at the other right guards in the league, Chris Lindstrom, his average salary per year is $20.5 million per year. So Sam Cosmi came in at 18.5. So if you compare it to the rest of the right guards in the league, Robert Hunt for the Panthers, $20 million per year. Now Sam Cosmi is getting paid more than Zach Martin for the Cowboys. Zach Martin's getting $18,425,000 per year. And Sam Cosmi got, what, 45 guaranteed? So Quinn Meinerz for the Broncos has $45 million guaranteed. Chris Lindstrom, $62 million guaranteed in his contract. And Robert Hunt with $63 million guaranteed in his contract. So Sam Cosmi, the Pro Bowl is not the end-all, be-all, but I definitely feel like he should get a vote for it or make the Pro Bowl this season. Did not make it last year or the end of years before, but I think it's definitely coming and possibly an all-pro season. If we get really good quarterback play from Jaden Daniels, I think he'll get even more recognition in the league. He just hasn't really got nationwide recognition. It doesn't matter, but he's starting to get that recognition, and the Commanders and Adam Peters, they see what they have, so they certainly rewarded him for that. So right now, currently, he is the 3rd highest paid right guard in the NFL right now. And then you look at left guards, guys like Landon Dickerson's getting $21 million per year, Quentin Nelson $20 million per year, and then Jonah Jackson's getting 17. So right now, Sam Cosmi, he got a bag, man. He got paid. He's up there, man. He's up there. So he's real comfortable right now. So I'm happy for him seeing a guy get rewarded. And it's a Ron Rivera draft pick. So you got to be really good if you're a Rivera draft pick and you're still here. Last year, only 4 penalties, which is pretty solid. Only 1 sack allowed, like I talked about before. And then played in 1,103 snaps last year, which was 12th in the NFL at his position. So played a lot of snaps, was out there a lot. And remember, it was in a Bieniemy offense where they were dropping Sam back continuously, long developing routes. So that made it tougher on the offensive line. He held his own against really good defensive linemen in the interior, like I said, Aaron Donald, and especially in the NFC East, man, there's some really, really good interior defensive linemen that we battle against twice a year. So props to Sam Cosmi for playing really, really good football, man. So I'm happy to hear that. It's good news before the season gets started here. So I'm not going to get through the long list of, draft picks in the second round that have been really awful here. So I'm not going to do that. I mean, I'll name some of them, like Sua Cravens, Ryan Anderson. I did like Darius Geis. Of course, he had the ACL injury, and then Federi Mathis is starting to play. He's starting. I think Federi Mathis is going to have a good year. I think he's going to have a good year. I think he has a good, solid, rotational type of season in his future. So, but, you go back to 2008, like Devin Thomas, Fred Davis, and Malcolm Kelly and guys like that. So don't want to reminisce on some of the bad picks, but looks like we got a really good one here in Sam Cosmi. So, all right. So in other news here, Brandon Coleman or Dan Quinn had a presser. So I do want to go over a couple of quotes here before we do wrap it up. He said he's really excited and happy to get the Sam Cosmi deal done. So that was good to hear. He did say that Sam Cosmi is a commander. He's tough. So I do want to read that, that physicality and toughness. Yeah, Dan Quinn said Sam Cosmi plays square and is strong. He'll be an anchor on the offensive line for years to come. So you love to hear that as well. He was the first player drafted by Washington to receive a contract extension since Terry McLaurin as well. So nothing but good things to say about Sam Cosmi. All right, but let's talk about some of the injury updates here before we get into. So no injury report as of yet. I think today's supposed to be the first injury report that's coming out. I know. So for some of the other games, like Devin White for the Eagles, he's not playing on. He didn't even make the trip to Brazil or something like that. So a lot of injuries are coming out. Like Kyle Pitts has a hamstring injury. He may not play a week 1. So we haven't heard anything like that. But he says Dan Quinn said Johnny Newton said that Dan Quinn said that Johnny Newton, the rookie DT, will practice today, scale back Thursday, and go again Friday before determining his week 1 status. So we'll see what happens with Johnny Newton. I hope he plays week 1. We'll see. But he has that soft tissue injury. He had the 2 surgeries on his feet and whatnot. So we'll see what happens about that. But he said, Dan Quinn said it would be good to get Johnny Newton back this week, still being cautious with him. And we'll have a better idea of if he can play Sunday by Friday afternoon. So Friday afternoon, we will probably get some news on Johnny Jerzon Newton, because he would be huge to have to get some help get some interior pressure on Baker Mayfield to make him get the football out quickly, because our secondary is going to need it. Our secondary is going to need as much help as they can get against Mike Evans and Chris Godwin for sure. And Rashad White as a pass catcher out the backfield too. All right, I'm going to read the Brandon Coleman injury update here, and then I'll probably wrap it up for today. Dan Quinn said he needs to see how Brandon Coleman looks in practice this week before determining who starts at left tackle at Tampa. Having the rookie back last week after an extended absence was a good start. And then Mitchell Tisler tweets out that for what it's worth, in the open portion of practice, Cornelius Lucas took the first individual reps with Brandon Coleman holding the bag for him. And this is what I said yesterday when the depth chart came out. Is that, Brandon Coleman didn't play in the preseason. He missed the 2 joint practices. So he just has not gotten a lot of reps. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dan Quinn has Cornelius Lucas starting. And that those individual reps, I know it's Wednesday, so there's still a couple days before the first game. But honestly, for a rookie to miss time like that and not get many reps and not playing a preseason game, we've seen rookies not playing preseason games, but to miss those practice reps and the joint practices, it's kind of tough for him to start that first game. It's kind of tough for them to put him out there. Cornelius Lucas, he's more of a backup swing tackle, but he can get the job done in a pinch. So we'll see what Dan Quinn decides. But honestly, I think Dan Quinn is probably going to start Cornelius Lucas. That's probably what I think. But I know the depth chart said Brandon Coleman first as the starting left tackle. But like I said, it's just hard to put a guy out there when he hasn't practiced much at all. So coming back from the pectoral injury. So. All right, you guys let me know what you guys think. There's some odd news going on. I'm not going to get into it. Something about O'Keefe Media. The Commanders are probably going to fire the VP of content. He's gotten suspended. And Brandon McManus, actually, too, his case was dismissed. But they have like 10 days to get back to it. So I'm not going to speak on that too much. But it's crazy. That's so crazy how things go, because I respect Adam Peters releasing him at the time. But sometimes when you do let things play out, but that stuff, honestly, is just tough with our history here with ladies and stuff and whatnot. It was kind of the right thing to do at that time. But if Brandon McManus is found innocent and the case is dismissed and whatnot, then it's like, oh man, dang, he was the best kicker option that we had at the time. But like I said, I'm not going to get into it. But, you know, you kind of see how these things play out with NFL players and legalities and stuff like that. But I'll wrap it up there, guys. But I just want to keep you guys in the know because you guys are probably going to see on your timeline the stuff about this VP of content and a recorded video with O'Keefe Media, a journalist. His name is Rael Enteen. So, but let's keep it football. Let's keep our eyes on the prize for week 1 against the Buccaneers. A couple days, guys, and I'm excited for the games tomorrow night too. I'm excited for the Ravens-Chiefs game. I'm excited for the Eagles-Packers game. I can't wait. I can't wait. Football's back, guys. It's back. All right, guys. The Commanders, as always. Peace.